What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another Daily Deck Tech video, and back from Michigan. I had a fun time with my in-laws. I got to stop by Galaxy Toys and Games, which is always fun. I got to spend time seeing my nieces and nephews and all of that fun stuff, and they got to play with my daughter, and she had a whole bunch of a fun time. But I'm back here in Iowa and back to the grind, as it were. Just a quick note, I do have some a different type of video coming out probably next week. Someone reached out to me on Discord with they build decks for fun, and so I was going to do some deck showcases. And if you want to do something like that, where you have a deck where you'd like me to showcase it, just reach out to me. I've got the social media stuff in the description down below or on the channel. You can email it to me, or you can even drop it in the comments down below. As long as you have like a description of what the main core theme of the deck is, absolutely would love to give you some shout out for that. But today we have ourselves a very classic commander and a very reasonable budget today at under $100. We have Kaalia the Vast. Now, Kaalia the Vast is one of the most popular commanders out there, and she is oftentimes one of people's first commanders because people love angels, people love demons, and people love dragons in Magic the Gathering. And I don't blame them. I'm a Timmy too. I've got a dragon deck, I've got an angel deck. I don't have a demon deck, but we could get one here on the way. So who is Kaalia the Vast? She's a 2/2 for 1 generic, a red, a white, and a black. And she has flying. And whenever Kaalia the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that opponent. She can get out of hand very, very fast as long as you can protect her. So, like I said, we got ourselves a deck for under $100 today. And let's see how we're going to execute our plan. The first thing you're going to notice here is that most of these cards cost approximately 457 trillion mana. It is what it is. A lot of really strong, but also monetarily cheap demons, dragons, and angels all are going to cost about 84 billion mana, because there is such a thing as like the dragon tax or the angel tax, where the good ones that are cheaper are going to arbitrarily cost you like 30 bucks. And we aren't doing that today when we're running a $95 deck. So, you're going to have Kaalia, and you're going to swing, and you're going to put one of these beasties onto the battlefield. So who do we got backing her up? First, we have one of my favorite cards from Planar Chaos, which was a set where they time shifted a bunch of different classic cards from Magic the Gathering and did what ifs. So we go from Akroma Angel of Wrath to Akroma Angel of Fury. It's a 6/6 for 5 generic, triple red. It cannot be countered, so if you do manage to cast it, it has flying, trample, protection from white, protection from blue. It has fire breathing, so pay 1 red, and it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. You can also morph it, which is put it face down for 3, and then you can pay 6 to morph it face up. She is really, really good, but her art is also awesome. Like, I like the red armor that's on her wings. It's really cool, and the flames with the sun behind, awesome. The one weird thing about this card is that this card does not have haste, which is actually odd, because that segues us into Akroma Angel of Wrath, which is the original from Legions. And she's a 6/6 for 5 generic, triple white, with flying, first strike, trample, vigilance, and haste, and pro red, pro black. It's odd that the white one has haste, but the red one does not. I think they could have probably slapped haste on Akroma as well. But it won't matter when they come into play tapped and attacking. So these are going to be 2 of your big beat sticks right off the bat. We have Angel of Despair, which is a classic originally from Ravnica, and she's a 5/5 flyer, and when she enters, you destroy a permanent. You get to vindicate something, which is very nice. And then you have a 5/5 beat stick. We have Angel of Ruins, which is a classic commander card. It's a 5/7 for 7 flying, and when it enters, exile up to 2 target artifacts or enchantments. This is really good for any of those players that are ramping out a little bit too much with their mana rocks, or they've got some busted thing on the battlefield, this doubles for removal, and is also, once again, a 5/7, which is not, something too small to laugh at. We have Arbiter of Woe, which is a 5/4 for 6. As an additional cost to cast, we're not casting this, bro. You have to sacrifice a creature and flying, and when this creature enters, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life, and then you get to draw a card and gain 2 life. So he's really good because if he gets put in by Kaalia, you are going to not only, just poke somebody for 2 and get them to discard a card, but you also are then going to replace him in your hand and gain a tiny bit of life, which could mean the difference between life and death. We have Bladewing the Risen, another classic card. He's a 4/4 for 7 flying, and when he enters the battlefield, you can return a dragon permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield, which people are going to probably blow up quite a few of your cards, so having a dragon in the graveyard is probably pretty likely to happen. And then you can pay, we're going to call it Rakdos Breathing, to give creatures dragons you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. We have Boatguarded Hellkite, who's also from the Time Spiral block. Flash, flying, 5/5 for 8, and when it enters, it deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. I use this more for like creature removal because a lot of commanders and other commander cards nowadays are pretty low to the ground, so Boatguarded Hellkite can help shoot those. We have Crabomination, one of my favorite cards from Modern Horizons 3. It has Emerge from artifacts, so you can cast it by sacrificing an artifact and then paying the Emerge cost, reduced by the artifact's value. Or, you can just put it into play with Kaalia. When Crabomination enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles the top cards of their library, a card at random from their graveyard, and a card at random from their hand, and you may cast spells from among those cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost, which is pretty awesome. We have a Demon of Loathing. I've always liked the art on this card. He's a 7/7 flying trample, and when he deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature, which is also pretty nice. Bringing down your own 7/7 beat stick and reducing the opponent's threats is always pretty good. We have Dragon Mage. Flying, this card is old. I think it's originally from Scourge. Flying, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you wheel. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. So what you want to do is get some of your other stuff out there and then have Dragon Mage come out, tapped and attacking, and refill your hand. We have Drakaseth, Maw of Flames, which is a flying 7/7, and when it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets, which is a pretty good little removal, or you can start burning people down. We have Gourmand, which is a 5/5. Once again, we aren't casting it, so don't worry about sacrificing another creature. It flies, it tramples, and when it enters, each opponent sacks a creature, which is pretty nice. We have Harvester of Souls, another little demon. He, in a really messed up way, his face looks kind of adorable. He's a 5/5 with Death Touch, and whenever another non-token creature dies, you may draw a card. One of our, and I think maybe our only non-dragon, non-demon, non-angel in this deck is Ishin Two Heavens is One, which is our utility creature here. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control, the triggers twice. This would allow Kaalia to trigger twice if Ishin is on the board, which would then allow you to put 2 angels, dragons, or demons into play. Tapped and attacking, which gets very strong very fast. I also have a budget Ishin deck that I made, if you want to check that out. We have Kothafed, Soul Hoarder, which is a 6/6 flying, and whenever a permanent owned by another player is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card and lose a life. See, we have a bunch of these cards that are going to let us refill our hands. The likelihood of people using their spot removal to try to kill the threats, like, sure, they can kill Kaalia, but they're also going to have to deal with all these other things. We have Lisa, the Forgotten Archangel. I actually really love this card, and that is actually the commander for my Angel deck. She's a 4/5 flying lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. And if a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. We have Oros the Avenger, also from the Time Spiral block from Planar Chaos. He's a 6/6 flying, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 3. If you do, Oros deals 3 damage to each non-white creature. All of our stuff is really big, so even if we shoot our own stuff, not too big of an issue, but shooting our opponent's stuff for 3 is pretty good. We have Piru the Volatile. It's a 7/7 Elder Dragon. Flying, lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gotta pay the Mardu, or it dies. And when it dies, it deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature. We got Rhea Dawnbringer. I used to run this in my original mono white commander deck. 4/6, 4/9. Put it into play with Kaalia. Don't try casting this thing. Flying, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Runescarred Demon 6/6, flying. When this creature enters, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Again, this is kind of one of those utility cards, helping you search up things that you need, get it to advance your game plan. We have Shil Gengar, Sire of Famine. It's a 6/6 flying, and you can sacrifice another creature, create a blood token. Blood tokens let you pay 1, sacrifice it, draw, and discard. I think in the opposite order, discard then draw. If you sacrifice an angel this way, create a number of blood tokens equal to its toughness instead, and then you can pay triple Orzhov hybrid mana. Sacrifice 6 blood tokens, return each creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Those creatures are vampires in addition to their other types. We have Steel Hellkite, a classic card that used to see Legacy play. The card's really good. 5/5 for 6, flying. Pay 2, and we're going to call, it gets Metal Breathing. It gets +1/+0 for 2 generic. And then you can pay X. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or with mana value X, whose controller was dealt damage by Steel Hellkite this turn. Activate only once each turn. So if you've got somebody like my friend John, who runs like Urza with a whole bunch of constructs, you poke him in the face with the Steel Hellkite, and then you just pay 0, and then blow up all the constructs. We have Tariel, Reckoner of Souls. It's a flying vigilance 4/7, and you can tap and choose a creature card at random from an opponent's graveyard and put it onto the battlefield under your control. So a little bit of theft there. And then we have Vile Mutilator. My goodness. It's a 6/5, and as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Again, we're not going to be doing that. Flying Trample, and when it enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token enchantment, then sacrifices a non-token creature. It's pretty good. For sorceries, we got a Karma's Vengeance, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. We have Earthquake in here since most of our stuff is flying. This is just a good removal and mass damage spell. Faithless Looting for a little bit of draw. Painful Truths, draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of colors spent to cast this spell. So we're running a 3-color deck, so draw 3 for 3 isn't the worst. Sign in Blood, target player draws 2 cards, you lose and loses 2 life. On Barrel Rights, you can reanimate something. Urza's Ruinous Blast is pretty good in this. It's a legendary sorcery, so you have to have a legendary creature or planeswalker in play. That shouldn't be too hard, and it exiles all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. We have Vindicate in here for a little bit of removal. And then for our instants, we're going to have a lot of removal and protection. So we have Bathe in Light, choose a color, target creature, and each other creature that shares a color with it gains protection of the chosen color until end of turn. We have Bedevil for destruction. We have Blacksmith Skill, target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. If it's an artifact creature, it gets +2/+2. We have Chaos Warp. Crackling Doom, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Each opponent sacks a creature with the greatest power. We have Despark, Doomblade, Mortify, Murder, Terminate, Stroke of Midnight, all our creature removal as well. We have Lauren's Escape. Target artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Scry 1. Rakdos Charm, which you can exile a graveyard, destroy an artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. We have Return to Dust, so you can exile a artifact or enchantment. Thrill of Possibility, discard 2, draw 2. Unbreakable Formation makes your stuff indestructible until end of turn. Utter End is another removal, same with Wrecking Ball. Lots of removal here. Sorry. Dry Air. For artifacts, we have Arcane Signet, and we do run Soul Ring. I usually avoid it in a lot of my builds, but in this, just in case we have to have the fallback plan of needing to cast something, we have it in here. We have Swiftfoot Boots, Whisper Silk Cloak, and Lightning Greaves. All of these are designed to protect the Kaalia and let her get through. We have Hard Won Jitte from the Turtle set, which just gives double strike, which is pretty nice. We have ourselves a Quicksilver Amulet, which is artifact for 4, and you can pay 4, put a creature card from your hand on the battlefield. So like an alternate Kaalia effect, just without the tapped and attacking part. We have Furja's Retribution, and you get to create an angel. Till end of turn, angels you control have tapped, destroy target creature with power less than this creature's power. And 3 is angels you control gain double strike until end of turn. Kaya's Ghost Form for a little bit of recursion / reanimate. We have Rising of the Day. Creatures you control have haste. This is really good. That way Kaalia can attack the turn she comes in. We have Warstorm Surge. Whenever a creature you control enters, it deals damage equal to its power to any target, so you can bop some people for a lot. We have Windcrag Surge. As it comes in, choose Mardu or Jeskai. If you choose Mardu, if an attacking creature causes a ability of a permanent you control to trigger, this is like the Ishin thing. You're going to choose Mardu, so that way you get to put 2 things onto the battlefield. And Jeskai is at the beginning of your upkeep, create a goblin creature token, and it gains lifelink until end of turn, and haste until end of turn. Then for our lands, pretty cheap overall. We are running Secret Tunnel, since we do have multiple angels, multiple demons, multiple dragons. We have Rogue's Passage in here. We have Seraph Sanctuary, so whenever an angel enters, you gain a life, which isn't the worst thing in the world. We have Access Tunnel. This gives a creature power 3 or less, can't be blocked. Your Kaalia is a 2/2. And then some pretty cheap lands overall. We are running budget fetches in here as well. Let me know what you think of this Kaalia budget build in the comments down below. If you want to see your commander made into a deck tech, just drop that in the comments down below. I have a few actual viewer requests I got to get done here within the next week, so let me know. And let me know how I'm doing on the channel. I'm always open to feedback and improvement. So, as always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. What's up, everybody?